This is The Blockchain Show. The Blockchain Show is a weekly podcast that demystifies and promotes the widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies and distributed ledger technology.
This week on the show, the IRS eyes Coinbase. India bans black money. Christopher David exits Arcade City. And Ethereum forks again.
I guess the IRS has asked Coinbase to release every customer's record from 2013 to 2015. So if you're a customer of Coinbase, the IRS wants to know what you bought from them.
Whoa.
And so they basically just demanded every record. And Coinbase is saying, nope. So
this is very interesting.
yeah, this is good for Bitcoin, I think. In general, when you have such a, I don't know about such a, but when something like this typically happens and, it's like the Streisand effect. You've heard of that, right?
Tell me what it is.
Barbara Streisand sued Google Maps or something to remove her house from the maps or something. And I guess before it, nobody knew that you could see Barbara Streisand's house on it, or that it was labeled in such a way. I don't remember exactly what it was, but the fact that she sued brought so much attention to it that this thing that she was trying to hide was brought into the open.
Right.
And that's kind of what happens is, when the IRS goes after Coinbase and Bitcoin, in general, now people know about it because they're basically saying that every single user of Coinbase is evading taxes. They're all tax evaders. That's what the IRS is saying, basically.
Eek.
Tax evaders. Is that true, or is that just what they're saying?
It's what they're saying. The tax laws on actual Bitcoin is they're very, very difficult to figure out because some jurisdictions treat it as like currency, other jurisdictions, depending on what makes Bitcoin look the worst at the time. That's how it's, viewed by the judge.
Or whatever's most convenient for that particular case.
Yeah.
So if you're treating, they would have to acknowledge Bitcoin as a proper currency.
Well,
and then if you're trading, if you're taxing it, you pay taxes in Bitcoin?
No, probably, the government doesn't accept Bitcoin, except for Delaware, I think.
Oh, so the government doesn't accept Bitcoin. Oh, so then it's a non-issue, right?
It shouldn't be. It'd be like, I want to have the record of every Magic the Card player.
Yeah, I was going to say, what if I trade my Pokemon cards? I don't have any, sorry. But what if I stole Ethan's, messed up his perfect organization, and then traded him? What, are they going to tax that?
I don't understand. So they want to know the records from the Coinbase customers so they can see about the tax records. So they're saying that we should pay tax for buying Bitcoin?
Well, I think what happens is that they're assuming that everybody who owns Bitcoin is using it to hide their income from the government.
How hard would that be? I mean, I guess if you get one of those services that take the money out of your paycheck and morph it into cryptocurrencies, that's not a good example. I'm trying to think of ways how to hide money.
I guess theoretically one could get cash first off, and you get cash in the normal ways, and then take that cash to say there's something called local Bitcoin, and that's when you actually trade in person with somebody.
No way.
What?
That's awesome.
What do you personally handing over?
Hand them cash.
Yeah, you hand them cash and they transfer Bitcoin to your phone or whatever.
Oh, okay. Easy enough.
Yeah, I mean, so there's uses on it. They have ratings and whatnot, so it's pretty safe-ish, I guess. I haven't heard anything. I vaguely remember maybe one or two negative stories, but
I mean, it takes 45 minutes to make sure the transaction's there, solid.
Yeah.
So you gotta hang out with this guy with your money for 45 minutes. Bring a duber.
If you're buying Bitcoin, it's probably you can talk about something.
Yeah.
there's a run on Bitcoin in India.
A run on Bitcoin. I've heard that there's some sort of economic disaster in India in regards to their currency.
I don't know exactly if it's a disaster, but they did something weird. No, it's new, but I wouldn't say disaster. They like outlawed some denominations of bills because something like that.
Like rubles, right?
Yeah, rupees.
Rupees? Sounds like The Legend of Zelda.
What is the currency in Legend of Zelda, and why isn't there a crypto token named that?
Yeah, you would think.
You know?
Yeah.
If there isn't, I'm making it. I'm gonna make that. Is it just gold though? It's probably just gold.
I'm pretty sure it's like it starts with an R.
Really?
Well, a rupee is an Indian currency. I don't know. But then ruble, like rubles or something, what's the Russian one? Something like that.
It's a rupee in Zelda.
That's the currency in Legend of Zelda?
Be ruples, yeah.
Oh. You can have the color of the rupee signifies its worth. So it would be like if you were playing Zelda and you went into a bank in India with your blue rupee, they wouldn't accept it. But if you had 5 green rupees, they would.
Wow. Yeah.
That's the exchange rate. It's like a joke, but I'm not sure if anybody will find it funny.
Here, it says here that India has chaos at banks after black money ban. They're trying to cut out a lot of counterfeiting. So 2 days after 500, which equals $7, and 1,000 rupee notes were withdrawn as part of an anti-corruption measure. But most of these people do all of their trading in cash. They're exclusively use these notes. And they're all running to the bank to try to trade them in. It says they have until like December, and then it just stops being money.
Wow. Well, how do you enforce that, though? I mean, that's like...
You can't get it from the banks anymore. So
I can see how it dies out, but...
Well, banks have already ran out of cash.
I'm confused as to how this... this must be a long and complex story because...
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me.
It says banks were shut down on Wednesday to allow them enough time to stock new notes following Tuesday night's announcement. There's limits on cash withdrawals from ATMs. The 2 notes accounted for about 85% of the cash in circulation.
So right now, Bitcoin on Coinbase or an American exchange is about $750, which is up a lot. But in an Indian exchange, it's about 150 or about 850. So it's much more expensive to buy it with rupees. $850 worth of rupees. It's just there's a whole bunch of demand because of, I would assume it's directly related to the outline of the bills, those larger bills.
Yeah.
I think there was a similar thing happened in, I think, Venezuela. Yeah, so Venezuela banks officially limit cash withdrawals to a daily max of $5. $5 worth of daily.
Fuck, India, You better hurry up. You got until December 30th to trade in your notes.
Yeah, so so this is one of the reasons why there's so much need for cryptocurrency. And it's not very likely to happen here anytime soon. Eventually the dollar will go to zero. That's how it's designed. When you have a debt-based money, has nothing backing it. It always goes to zero. There's never been a fiat currency in history that has lasted because it doesn't have anything backing it. There's no reason why it should. It's designed to go down in value year after year. The designers think that doing that forces people to invest that into the economy, and so they consider it a good thing they consider savings bad for the economy. So they don't want you saving, they want you consuming, and they want you investing. And that's what they believe the economy is good for. So the dollar is going to trend to zero eventually. And at that time, you probably will have things like limiting of cash withdrawals and things of that nature. But it probably won't be for a while. There are some people who think that it may happen soonish, but I don't see that. I'm not a prognosticator, but anyway, this is the reason why, even if you don't believe, like most people, that the United States banks, if you live in the States, that our banks are going to fail immediately or in the short term. I agree with you. Not everybody does, but it happens all over the world where banks do weird things, the governments do weird things, and that's what Bitcoin is for. That's its, killer app, so to speak. That's the blockchain's first app, was just creating this amazing currency.
That
and the
goes
blockchain
up
can
in
do
value.
so much more. That goes up in value, right? Savings is now rewarded.
But wait, guys, so let me just I see that I don't grasp this rupee thing, but wouldn't that be like eliminating dollars, like dollar bills or something? Didn't you say these were higher?
The $100 bill, right, has a thing on it that says like you can take it to a bank for the $100. Well, now they say if you were to take that to a bank after December, the bank won't give you credit for it. It'll be useless paper.
So is the equivalent of like $7 and what, $10 or $12? These bills, they're just
right.
gone. And they're gonna have new ones that have Gandhi on them.
Okay.
And it's like a 2,000.
Okay. They're just going up. It's like the lira when things just get out of hand and you're talking about like hundreds and thousands of millions of lira was just too much too much.
Chaos.
Like Zimbabwe, just you could actually just like write in the extra zeros on the bills because it went up so much that you could literally just like, oh, every $1,000 Zimbabwe dollar, I don't know what it was called, you just was now 100,000 Zimbabwe dollars.
Oh, that'll solve that. You just make believe. Just take this thing and make believe, or get a Sharpie.
Only 10.
Right. We're trusting you.
Man, strange times.
Yeah. Really.
So the IRS is looking in. India's getting rid of its currency. Bitcoin's going up.
Yeah, it went up pretty, not that dramatically, but like 730 something when Trump
it's
was
750
elected?
Right now.
Oh, it is right now?
750. Yeah, right around 750. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It broke all-time highs in a few countries. It's not an all-time high in USD yet. That was around, I think, 1,300, but it was only above 1,000 for a short period of time, right before the Mt. Gox collapse. So, but as like the Mexican peso goes down, the price of Bitcoin per peso is at an all-time high. Yeah, go ahead.
Bitcoin per peso?
Right. So, if Bitcoin is fluctuating against the dollar and the dollar is fluctuating against the peso, if the peso loses its purchasing power, but Bitcoin increases its purchasing power, you could have an all-time high of Bitcoin to peso, even though Bitcoin isn't an all-time high versus the dollar. That makes sense.
Get on it, Mexico. But nobody from Mexico listens. So
really, we don't have a lot of Mexican listeners.
We have a few from Mexico. I saw our stats.
Okay,
a smattering.
I think so. Anyways,
I'm sorry, my brain is still a little stuck on this Indian thing. It's so funny because I've just you don't often run across a circumstance because we talk about fiat money. You actually schooled me on fiat money. It's fiat because we say it has value. And that's just sort of funny because you never really officially hear people say, okay, starting this time, this doesn't have value anymore. The
right.
magic wand has been waved. So now everybody go along with this right now. And then what, poof? The fiat money that once was something one day is nothing the next. Funny.
It's the nature of money.
I mean, we do similar things, I think. Do we, when we introduce a new bill, introduce new counterfeiting measures or something, say like, we add the strip inside of a $100 bill, the counterfeiting strip, or change a pigment, coloring pigment. Does that actually
mean that the ones before it mean nothing?
Ever lose their value? Yeah. Or do they?
I wonder that because I came across a bunch of old bills that were old. I don't want to do anything with them because they're low, but they must have value,
Go
obviously.
to
Right.
7-Eleven.
Well, I mean, I don't think this. I wonder if 7-Eleven would accept like this weird old $2 bill, but like that's collectors will pay way more than that, so it has value. Value actually
Right.
went up just because of its oddity. But
Well, the Treasury Department loves to snatch those up and destroy them. That's the whole department. That's people's jobs. They'll find these old priceless nickels and dimes and bills and
destroy them.
just destroy them, and they account for it so that they can control the currency as much as they can.
Like goblins.
So Ethereum is going through its fourth hard fork. I think technically it's the fifth hard fork, but it's the fourth one that people noticed or cared about. There was an early one that I guess doesn't count, but
Nobody cares.
kind
about
of bringing the price down on Ethereum. It's under $10 now, but they're struggling with the attacks and trying to fix it. But Arcade City has basically asked, or Christopher David has stepped down from Arcade City, so it's progressing along towards not being a scam, I guess.
That sounds.
You still
hopeful.
maintain that it's a scam. It was funny that
What's
Paul seemed a little perturbed when you asked him
Did he
that
seem
question.
mad or no?
No, I wouldn't say mad, but it seemed like he'd been asked that question before, so you may be onto something.
A lot of people have, rightly or wrongly, I think rightly. See, the thing of it is, when you have these type of new communities that are just forming, you can't take a lot of chances. The internet itself attracts a lot of scammers. Not everybody on the internet is scammy, but there's the Nigerian prince scam and all sorts of scams that everybody who there's phishing, email phishing, password phishing, just scam after scam after scam, and cryptocurrency attracts even more of that because there's money on the line. There's actual value that people can scam away from you very, very easily from anonymity. And so you have to be pretty wary, really careful of the type of character and people's history. That doesn't mean this, maybe it seems like it's possible or likely that in this particular case, Christopher David was trying to maybe turn a new leaf. I suppose maybe his issues in the past weren't that grave. I don't know the full story on it, but I do know that there was enough red flags there that in the space you probably don't want to. You kind of have to have a much more pristine record than what he had, or if you have a checkered past, make that known up front, as opposed to having it be dug out.
That's what Trump should have done.
That's what anybody should do. Anyone.
New Metallica album just came out.
Oh, did it?
Mm-hmm.
Did it?
I think Metallica might be one of those bands that you could have bought their record with Bitcoin at one point in time.
At one point in time?
Yeah, I mean, Metallica is one of the few artists that actually owns all their music, I think.
I heard that
I hope
today,
that's
for the
true.
first time in 17 years, their full catalog is available on Napster.
Napster exists?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that was
Rhapsody.
long gone. Oh.
that's right. It is Rhapsody.
They shut it down. Have you heard of Rhapsody?
Yes.
So Rhapsody, I guess, brought the Napster name
Yeah, because it got all dirty.
and changed their name to Napster.
What was it before you changed it?
Christopher David. Did you know that Bitcoin is trying to go through a protocol upgrade right now?
No.
They are trying to upgrade to something called segregated witness, or SegWit for short. And what segregated witness does is it kind of splits blocks into two. So you have your verified transaction data and then like your header data or something. And so there's like a way to increase the block size by taking data out of the block that doesn't necessarily need to be in the block. And so it's done to reduce the amount of space the blockchain takes up on a hard drive and just make things easier, to scale make it easier to scale. And just when it came out, it was a really, really good idea. But the core developers of Bitcoin are against doing protocol upgrades that require what's called a hard fork. And they only want to do protocol upgrades that require a soft fork. And so they kind of did segregated witness in a fashion that only required a soft fork. And I want to be completely honest with you, the difference between a hard fork and soft fork should be irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. It's a protocol upgrade or it's not. But in some people's minds, it matters. There are academic differences between the terms. But the whole thing just kind of confuses me a little bit, and probably everybody else.
The title, it sounds like the title of a bad Harrison Ford movie.
Why does it matter? I wonder what's the argument about why it matters so much?
Segregated witness.
Oh, that.
Right? The rural juror.
A rural.
Segregated witness, starring
Harrison Ford. Wesley Snipes.
Harrison Ford. I'm the only one who wants Wesley Snipes to make a comeback, I suppose. If you like the show, you should probably come and donate to us. We accept Bitcoin donations and Ethereum donations and Zcash donations and Aurora coin donations and
Doge?
Apple Dogecoin, sure, and Apple computer donations. So our good friend Nelson, remember Nelson?
Oh, of course.
Our good friend Nelson is looking for a technical co-founder for his project that he was working on.
The education one? Revolutionizing the way we no longer have to owe our firstborn children and limbs the unforgivable debt of student loans.
Student loans are ridiculous, and college becomes less and less useful and more expensive. And Nelson wants to save us from that, but he needs a technical co-founder.
The guy is awesome. Nelson is awesome.
He is awesome.
Anybody that would work with him is like a lucky person. There should be a lot of people jumping on this right now.
I miss the cricket man.
One of the big Bitcoin, one of the earliest Bitcoin apps, you would say, was called ChangeTip. And with ChangeTip, you can kind of send Bitcoin to anybody on Reddit or Twitter just by, sending a message to them. And they are shutting down. They, I don't exactly know why, but maybe I don't know why, but they're shutting down right now. So that's kind of a big deal, I suppose.
This company said that is no more, and you don't even know why?
I just haven't looked it up yet.
Oh, how did you know that it went down?
It came on Twitter. I saw a tweet. Tweet. So this company was acquired in 2016 by Airbnb. And there was speculation at the time that Airbnb wanted to get into the cryptocurrency business. But if you digged any deeper, it was very, very clearly acquire hire. Do you know what an acquire hire is?
No.
Want to guess?
Well, it seems like I don't know what the hire part would be. It seems like it would just be sort of acquired. I don't know.
A lot of times a place has talent, certain individuals that are very good at what they do, and they have a company, and you want to get them on your team, and so you just kind of buy the company. And
that would
don't
be
care about the
acquiring.
product that the company is. Yep, so you acquire the company for the talent. So it's like you hire these people to work for you by taking over their company. And they were looking to sell ChangeTip after being hired and did not find a suitable suitor.
Suitable suitor. And so it just flopped.
Yep, and so they're just closing it down, which makes a little sense. I thought maybe I forgot about the acquire hire by Airbnb.
So Airbnb is like the Uber of whatever hotels or what would you?
Yeah, it's it's one of its own things now where you can say like an Airbnb for toothbrushes, where you can rent out your toothbrush to your neighbor.
What? Wait, what?
What?
That's not
It's a
something
joke.
you share.
It's a joke on Portlandia. Like, we could have a website. We could rent out anything. Rent out your socks. Rent out your toothbrush.
Oh, Portlandia. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, but Airbnb, I guess, is just an amazing, one of the most successful worst ideas, I guess you could say. Because who really wants to invite a stranger into their house and become a hotel?
Yeah.
Ideally, you would set it up so you never have to see them, correct?
Well, I know one person who does an Airbnb, so that's all of my reference point there, and I would say quite the opposite.
You stayed in one, Steve. What was that like?
I have used Airbnb a bunch, and it is fantastic. Hotels are like, they're so hard to figure out because they take these awesome pictures a lot of times, and you look at the picture and you go, man, I'd like to stay there. And you don't know the area. If you're going to someplace new, how do you know whether this is cool or not? But and then you get there and it's like horrible. You know what I mean?
You mean in a hotel?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes, I have had this phenomenon.
Yeah, but with an Airbnb, it's almost impossible. Like, they take good pictures, and then you have actual guests rating it. Because I've stayed at some hotels where you would get like 5-star review or 4-star reviews, and I thought, we'll try it out. And when you get there, just like, what are people thinking? This place is terrible. So I think Airbnb is fantastic. But how long that lasts, I don't really know.
Like Blockbuster. It was great while it lasted.
Yeah, I imagine there will be a Airbnb. I mean, that's what Slockit was trying to do, or one of the things of Slockit and the DAO was to try to build a sharing economy with, smart locks and things of that nature. So you could, basically just use your blockchain reputation to unlock locks for like a Airbnb type stuff. But I don't know. Airbnb was very cool. When I stayed in Topanga, well, you saw the place. What do you think of that place?
That was really cool. Yeah, that was a cool place.
Did we talk about Aurora Coin yet?
No, we didn't. Is there something that happened with Aurora Coin?
I guess Aurora Coin was back in the news a few weeks ago with the pirate party in Iceland. They were trying to...
A pirate party in Iceland?
Yeah, do you know anything about the pirate party in Iceland?
No. But every time we talk about Iceland, it's great. These people seem to really know what they're doing. And they have pirates and they're partying? God.
Yeah, I don't know what the thing of the pirate party is. The pirate party, and I guess there was some thought of them being a chance to win a few seats or something. And there was talk of making Aurora Coin the official currency of Iceland.
Oh yeah.
How likely that is, I have no idea.
What is it now? Do you know?
What do you mean?
I think we had an episode about it, but...
What is it? What do you mean?
Did it change when they had that sort of banking revolution? The currency.
Oh, what is their currency?
Yeah.
No. Are they still?
I don't know. Yeah.
Iceland currency to USD. It's the Icelandic krona.
Oh.
And 1 krona equals $0.008, so $0.009, so almost a cent for a krona.
Wow, that's shitty.
And I think it's going up.
I almost said like it equals a conch shell, but I was like, no, that's derogatory and rude. But pretty close. Like,
actually, those
worth more than a pen.
Yeah, for sure. You could probably. I'm sure there are people that try to polish them up and sell them to you for $20.
They were trying to give away money in Iceland.
Yeah, go to Anthropology and they'll charge you like $30 for a conch shell.
That's criminal.
It's all relative. Talk about fiat.
The cog shell is 2,595,000 USD.
What?
It's a spectacular ocean view, 236 Cogshell Avenue. Never mind.
Different shell.
Different. There are Ether holiday cards available.
No shit.
Yeah, do you know what Ether card is?
No.
One of the developers of Ethereum, Nick Johnson, I think he was hired, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 months ago or something like that to work on it. Work on the C++ client. Created something called Ether cards, which are little, plastic credit card sized cards that have like a scratch up on the back.
Right.
And so what you can do is you can like load Ethereum onto that card and give the Ethereum as a gift. You can also load, it's just an address. You can load Ethereum Classic or whatever you wanted onto it. And then, in order to redeem it, somebody would scratch off the private key. And so now they styled for Christmas with like Christmas trees and snowflakes.
Oh.
So yeah. I
That's
don't know.
pretty clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I was actually trying to talk about something like that last night. I didn't have the words for it, but I know that there are ways that you can. I don't even know how it came about, but I was thinking that there must be I know that we have spoken of ways in which you can use Bitcoin on something that appears to be like a credit card. It can have that form, even if it's not functioning in the same way a credit card looks. But honestly, I feel like I'm talking right out of my butt.
I hope I'm not interrupting. Stop me if you want me to.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I have a question that stumped me. Maybe you can help me, Steve. It says, your following Ethereum addresses have both an ETH and an ETC balance. Splitting these addresses will reduce future complications. These ETC holding addresses require more, I'm guessing Ether, to be able to perform the split. We recommend depositing the required Ether into your following Ether wallet address, and then address.
What is that from?
Jack's wallet.
How much Ether do you have?
That's where it gets confusing because I use the shapeshift feature to change it into Bitcoin.
So now you don't have any Ether anymore. So what happened a long time ago when the third Ethereum fork, or the last fork that went through, or actually it was only the second Ethereum fork. There was hope that, and there was in the community of Ethereum, there wasn't any doubt that the ship had been steered, but they left behind when you do a protocol upgrade, or in this case it wasn't a protocol upgrade, but when you do a hard fork, you can be on either side of the fork. And what happened is that when you do a transaction on one side of the fork, it's valid on the other side of the fork as well. And so if you have Ethereum, you also have Ethereum Classic. If you had that before, I don't know if this is making any sense.
It is. I'm sorry that I was saying ETC and ETH. I knew that it was Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, but for some reason I said that.
Yeah, and so I guess Jax is just warning its users that you have an Ethereum balance or a Ethereum Classic balance from before the hard fork.
Well, it's pretty cool. Started out with $5. Now I have $6.56.
What do you mean dollars and cents? I thought we were talking about Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Yeah, so it shows you your Bitcoin. It shows me my Bitcoin balance and then the US dollar equivalent.
Oh, yeah, right. Because
what
you have is 0.0087. Can I? Oh, it's plugged in. Sorry.
Yeah, it's plugged in. Sorry, it's short cord. I don't even remember.
What did you do with your ETH, Sarah?
What did I do with my youth?
ETH. With your Ether. With your ETH.
With my ETH?
But I suppose what did you do with your youth is a better question.
What are you thinking about over there? So I'm guessing you did nothing, and you still have $5 of Ethereum Classic.
Yes.
She's got the
So,
classic.
or of Ethereum. So if you have, what is that like 0.25 Ether about?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have my phone. Well, I guess I could look at it.
The exchange rate keeps going worse and worse. I don't think it's worth it. Well, I mean, maybe Jax does it automatically for you, and you should probably split it and then shapeshift it, but you may not even have enough Ethereum Classic to be worthwhile.
Why do I get the idea that when I'm hearing all this like forking, and that's a hot topic, and Ethereum forks, and all this troubleshooting and growing pains. I'm not bagging. I'm not being negative, but it's necessary too. But why do I always seem to get the impression that like Bitcoin is the stable, the cornerstone, and Ethereum is like the practice field, like the playground where you can try to figure out how stuff works?
I mean, Bitcoin has been around since 2009. And it's very, very simple. It's the first use of blockchain technology. So, and it only basically functions as currency. People have been trying to do other stuff with it. And there's experiments in Bitcoin as well, like Rootstock, which brings smart contract into it. So it's not like you can't do other things on it. It's just not easy to do.
Oh, that's not what I mean. I just mean like it seems Bitcoin seems like the rock, and Ethereum, there's always something happening with it. To answer your question, by the way, 0.427706.
Oh, 0.42.
So that's $4.11 in U.S. currency.
Is it? Yeah, okay.
That's what it says.
Yeah, and so you can exchange it and get like 0.04 Ethereum Classic. I wouldn't bother. Or I'm sorry, you can probably get another 0.04 worth of Ethereum if you shapeshifted it, because it's about a tenth. You have an additional tenth of what you have in Ethereum Classic.
But what if I shapeshift it to Bitcoin?
Then you would get less Bitcoin.
Fucked up, Sarah. Should have done what I did months ago. Shapeshifted it into Bitcoin. Hey, you might still be able to buy that song by help me out here, Steve.
That was kind of like a demo, and Ujo has gone into a completely different direction, and so they shut down the demo, and I didn't quite figure out what their new direction is and what their new plan is, but doing something new.
So we missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, I bought it, so I'll send you a copy of it if you really wanted it. But I still kind of want to answer your question.
Please, by all means.
Sorry. Yeah, so Ethereum's only been out since 2015, right? It's new. Yeah. Bitcoin's been around since 2009. That's a whole lot of, that's an eternity, in blockchain space. It's 10 years. There's also a much smaller attack surface. So Bitcoin is, there's not a whole lot that can be attacked on it because it's not a full smart contracting language. It's just currency.
I see. Yeah, okay. Oh, well, that does answer the question.
Yeah, and Ethereum is still in beta. I mean, Ethereum will be in beta until Serenity, which is I think it's the earliest.
In beta until Serenity.
Yeah, in beta until Serenity. So the way that the Ethereum was being developed was there was Frontier, which was like your super beta, getting everything out. And then there was Homestead, which is kind of like a more stabilized version of Ethereum, which is where we're at now. And then there's Metropolis, and the Metropolis brings in, I believe it is a full working Mist browser and Swarm and what's the other thing?
They have like a bunch of gobbledygook that you're saying.
Well, the terms are made up.
Yeah, I know. I figured that much out. Either that or you're messing with me.
But there are, so they're building on top of Ethereum or alongside Ethereum a messaging network called Whisper, and they're building a data storage network called Swarm. So Ethereum hasn't even had that built yet, but they're planning on building a messaging, like a messaging protocol, and then a data storage like IPFS. And when those are ready, that is Metropolis. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Probably not.
It's like your
Just
Walmart of blockchain tasks.
I mean,
right?
People always have to name these things, some
Right.
weird stuff.
To wrap your mind around it.
Apple leopard, snow leopard,
Yeah, never understood.
It's just but that's what these are named. They have a name. Turmeric. Spices are pretty big in the naming scene nowadays.
Really? Interesting.
I guess. Why not?
Huh.
I mean, Android Lollipop was one. Marshmallow.
Secret code words.
Neil is my Ubuntu.
But the messaging is like messaging, right? The way messages you would do on your phone. Is that what you mean by messaging?
Yeah, and you could send encrypted messages to anybody without a third party.
Yeah, when you say it like that, it's way cooler. I forgot about the whole encrypting thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if Verizon, I can send you a text message pretty easy from my phone to your phone. I don't know what phone you have, but but it's not encrypted. Anybody can spy on it. It's a third party that has all sorts of rights. But, with Whisper, now it's encrypted. The third parties can see the encrypted data, but they cannot unencrypt it, so it doesn't really matter.
Too late for Wiener.
See, it would have saved him. But not really, because, he was using... What was he using? Was he at least using Snap?
He's using Yahoo.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, you were absolutely right that Bitcoin is stable. Much more so than Ethereum. Ethereum is a baby, and Bitcoin is like a grandpa at this stage. It's the first of its kind. I don't know what this technology has in its future. I won't even begin to guess.
I would say it's more like
guessing is fun.
It's more like a stable middle-aged man.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's quite classic yet.
If you made it this far, be sure to donate to us and send a message for getting Nelson Waitan, his tech co-founder.
Right, you got to pay it forward. He's got the flow going. The man knows how to inspire.
Yes, we had one or two other people donate, but Nelson was the first one and the
Bless
only one we
his
know
heart.
of.
Bless
Yes.
your heart, Nelson.
Yes,
Bless it.
Got to get him tech co-founder.